Alright, so welcome to the course. Before we get started, the first thing I want to say is just kind of how to watch the course and if you want to follow along, stuff like that. So basically, I suggest watching the course at 2x speed, and that is because I don't take anything out of the animation. It's completely just real time, and that's because things, if I want to edit it to make it quick and short, then I might take something out that someone might find valuable, and then they're not going to get everything they could from the course. And I think it's important to see everything when someone's animating, because I don't want to just paint a pretty picture that I knew what I was doing straight away, because that's not the case, and it's never the case. It's always a trial and error sort of thing, so it's important to see that. But if you watch it at 2x speed, then that way it's not super long and you can just get through it, and always pause it if you need to. The second thing is we've made our blue rig available for purchase now, so you can purchase her in the link below. And for the week of the course, we're doing 50% off the rig, as well as including the picker and the groom file, which will be sold separately after this week. So if you want to follow along, which I suggest you do, then you can get the rig in the link below. She's super feature quality. Some of our students have done really great shots with her, so even if you want to use her to do this exercise and then use her again for some other shots, it's a really nice rig and a really easy rig to animate, and also get a high quality piece of work for very little effort, if that makes sense. So you can animate her quite easily because she's a ball with wings. She's a simple rig. You can get some really appealing animation because she's naturally quite appealing, and it can really you can get a real nice piece of work very easily from her. Whereas most rigs, like human rigs, stuff like that, it's very hard to get nice work because you have to be like super duper good. You have to get the poses great and everything like that. But with her, you can get away with a lot. So she's a great rig to use as a beginner or professional, but I suggest you grab her while she's half price. And then throughout the course, if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. I'll clarify anything. If you need further help on something, let me know. Unfortunately, in one of the videos, I was not recording my screen, and so there's about an hour of the actual course missing. But what I did is just made a recap video and just told you everything I did and why I did it, so you can still see that. That's just a heads up, there is a slight little chunk missing, unfortunately, and that's just a technical issue. So if you do have any questions on that particular video, for sure just let me know, and I look forward to seeing all your shots that you animate. It's going to be awesome. See you in the first video. Alright, so just before we get into the course, you're probably wondering who it is that's teaching you. So I've worked in feature film for the last 5 years. These are all the films I've worked on. Nimona, Under the Boardwalk, the Garfield movie, and Ron's Gone Wrong was the first feature film I worked on. I've got my reel playing in the background wherever I put this video. And during that time I started Lupin House, which is the channel you're seeing now, and it's a mentorship school. And so basically what we do is we teach animators how to lift their work to the quality of feature film. So there's a big gap from when I graduated uni and to the level I needed to be before I got employed. And so we help close that distance, and we have mentors from the world's leading studios like Sony, Pixar, Illumination, Disney, all of them. And along with our mentorship, which gives you one-on-one feedback from these mentors, we have our courses as well, which you can watch in your own time. And our master classes as well from Disney. So we have a Disney supervisor, Valentin Amador. He's an absolute legend, and he's created 4 master classes for posing and appeal, which is an important concept in animation, and then how to reference and actually take that reference into blocking, push that blocking to spline, and then from spline to polish. So it shows you how he works at Disney, his whole process, which is really cool. So if you want to check out any of the other stuff, you can. Our website will be in the link below. Otherwise, enjoy the course, and again, if you have any questions, just feel free to comment on the cook video and I'll answer.
Something, 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 we win. Metal.
Okay, so in this class, we're just going to do a quick rig overview, because there's nothing worse than animating and halfway through or towards the end finding out there's these controls that you could have used to make life a lot easier or something like that. And so it's good to know everything that the rig can do to speed up your workflow. So there's a few things in here that may not be extremely obvious that I just want to point out on this rig. So first of all, if you've got the rig, you have the picker with it at the moment. So to make it so that the picker is actually selecting the rig controls, all you have to do is select a rig control and then click get namespace. And once you do that, you'll see now that when you select things, it selects on the rig. And it's just because it's picked up the namespace from where you've imported it. Alright, so the rig's pretty straightforward. You know, you've got your squash and stretch here, which is really cool. But there's just a few things, as I said, that may not be extremely obvious. So in the arm controls here, only on this one and this one, if you open the channel box, you'll see you have some secondary controls like curl, where you can curl the wing like that. So if you're flying, you might use this. Where you can bend the wing as well, down like this, like that. And also where you can twist the wing, if you want to add some twist in there as well. You've got that option to do so. And then you can also separate the wings. So at the moment, you'll see here that the wings are fully attached to the body. So if you want to do anything, it's like it's got arms. However, if you do want to do something like super cartoony and have some multiples, you can actually separate the wings like this, and then you can move them around wherever you want and animate it that way. So you can actually separate the wings, and the reason we put that in the rig is so you can do multiples. So that's really cool to know. I'll just turn separation back to off. The second thing is, if you want to change the color of the rig, you can come into the global control here, and you can change the body color to any color you like. Well, not any color, there's a few options. You've got pink, red, white, etc. And you can do the same thing with the wings, and the same thing with the eye color, like that. So you can customize the bird. So if you want to have different bird characters in the scene, you can do that. Alright. The next thing is these controls here in the eyes. These ones. This is where you'll find the blink. The outside ones, just here. So you can blink 100%. Auto lids. This is where the eyes follow the lids. Oops. So if we grab this like this, I'll just lower the lids just a little bit, just so we can see maybe a bit clearer. Push this down a bit, and then we follow with this. You see how the lids, see that's very much too strong, right? You don't want that. So if you come back here, you can reduce the auto lids. So they follow, but maybe not so strong. So you can see by default it was on 0.1, and that gives it a nice fleshy little follow there. See that? So they follow, so that's really cool. The other thing is the bendy controls and stuff like that. So if we lift from the global control here, up like this, you see she has her FK and IK legs, like this. So if you want to get any sort of definition in the legs, you can turn on the secondary controls, which is again under the global, I believe. Yeah, so there's where you change the color, and then if you want to select the bendy controls or secondary controls, you can turn those on. And now you have two. And just while we're there, the only other thing you might like to do is if you do want to select the rig, the geometry for any reason, you can select the ref here and turn it to normal, and then you can select the geometry. So when you do want to duplicate the mesh, you can do it that way. So I'm just going to turn it back to ref for now. And now you have the bend controls. You can use these to kind of move the rig any way you like. So you've got a lot of control. I'll just do one at a time actually, just so we can see the difference. So the bending controls. So you got a couple here. This. You can obviously create a noodle if you want. So there's loads and loads of flexibility. If you do want to give the bird a knee, you can lift the knee up like this, and you can either go like a bird and bring it back like this, or like a human and bring it forward like that, however you want to animate it. But if you are animating this like this, let's just say you're putting a nice bend in the leg for whatever reason. and then let's say you need to push it a bit further or something like that, you can turn on the other controls here, and you get all these micro controls in here where you can really just add an extra layer of flexibility to do whatever you want. So that's worth noting. And then the other thing is the FK IK switches are here. No, they're not. Or are they? I thought it was. I think that's the hip. Oh, here, the flags. So the flags up here are the FK IK switches. So if you want to switch it to FK, you do that up here. And you can see they're represented here on the picker here like this. So you can't see them by default. As soon as zero these out, you can see once you have that, you have the knee control, which just works like a normal knee control. And then you've still got the bendies on top of that. If for some reason you want to just push these out, just get a nice bend in the knee like this, you can do that. The other thing to be aware of is the leg joints here. These move. So if you're doing it, if you're doing like a walk, you can walk like this, or if you're jumping, you'll see in the course that I use these to animate the legs moving around. So it's important that you do this, because if, for example, you just move this up here like this and you don't do it, see how that kind of makes sense, right? It looks like they've put their leg forward, but then if you don't have it, see how it's really ugly like this? It's not really nice. So use it as you wish, but just be aware that it's there and you can do it. Outside of that, you've got the normal controls here, like this. You can bend, tweak, rotate, you can scale the toes if you want to have a big toe for whatever reason. There's a lot of flexibility in this rig. She's super duper flexible. The other thing we have on the wings, you'll see when we turn on the secondary controls, turn them off. Oh, that's not the secondary controls, that's just normal, okay. So you have these controls to animate individually all the wing, so it all moves kind of consecutively together. You can move it in the middle here if you want. You can move it here, but then when you get really particular and you really need to get something really unique, you've got these ones here in the middle where you can get the perfect shape. So there's really nothing you can't achieve with these wings. If there's a shape you can think about or draw it, you can achieve it with the rig, which make them super fun to animate. It is a bit tedious because if you see here, there's like 10 controls per wing, but the point is the control is there so that you can actually do what you want, which is really cool. And then we have the arm position. If you want to move the arm up like this, like a shoulder, if you will, like this, which is really nice, which is these ones here. Then you have your brows, which are really really appealing. Look at that, instantly super cool. And you can you can bring these in. Oops, I selected the wrong thing. Just use it here. If you want to get like real or angry like that, or like this, and you've got depth as well. So if you want to push them out a bit, you can, like that. You know, because that's super appealing. Now the depth is there. If you do need it, use it like a little bit like this. If you just want to push it out a little bit, something like that. Then we have the eye controls. And then you can control each lid individually. If you want to get something more creative on there. We have the mouth control here. We don't really go into the mouth control because it's not a course in which we do lip sync, but you can see here we've got the mouth, and within the mouth you have all the tongue controls that you normally have. That. And then we have this thing as well, which is the I'm just going to bring it out so you can see. Oh, you can't. It's the little dangly bit. That thing. So you can animate this if you want to, which is really cool. You can animate the beak. You can shape the beak however you need, if you need to make it bigger and stuff like that. You've got all the controls around the beak as well. So there's just a ton of flexibility in the rig. Basically, we've tried to put it so that it's the smallest rig, super appealing, and you can get anything you need with it. There's a great shot, I'll play it now, and they've really pushed the rig here like to a T, and it looks super good, so it's a really good reference of what the rig's capable of. And then we've got these little controls here, which is kind of like not a squash, not a stretch, but it kind of works like that. See, you can kind of control the whole face if you want, like this, which is really cool. So you can really push it. So you've got the top and you've got the bottom here as well. So these controls come in handy when you want to do like some jiggle. They can translate as well, stuff like that. So outside of the norm, oh yeah, you've got the eye controls as well, the top and the bottom. Oops. These are squash. Right, so that's just the eyes. So you don't want to obviously come higher than the brows that you have. Right, but if you did want to, you could. And you can get really big eyes like this. Right, you can make them really, really large if you want. And like I say in the course, I'll just quickly say here, even if this is happening, it's completely fine, because we can always come into the I teach you how to use this tool in the course, but you can come here and you can always just sculpt this as well and just pull it out. So anything that you want to achieve with the rig is possible. I can't be, but in the course I teach you how to do it, but for now I don't have the time. But let's just say that was what you wanted to do. You can do that, but we won't do that. So we'll come back to normal, and then you can control the middle of the eyes here. Yeah, you do what you want, right? There's just so much flexibility in this rig. You can put the eyes up here, and you've got the cheek controls here. So you can really push the rig to the extreme, which is awesome. So, pardon me, there's absolutely so much you can do with the rig. I encourage you to explore the rig before you use the rig. I've kind of told you all the things that you might find hidden, but still just explore the rig. Make sure you know exactly what every control does. Where if you want to tweak the sides or anything like that. This is also where you can apply some nice squash to the whole eye. Sorry, this one. Like that. Stays pretty clean. There's just heaps to do. So check it out and make sure you go real deep. And before you start working on the shot, just get super familiar. And with that out of the way, let's go into the course and we'll start doing the initial jump that we do for the course. Okay, so before we actually go into Maya and show you technically how to do it, we have to understand why we do it. So multiples and smear frames come from 2D and they're there to fill a large gap. So if we look at it in a timing chart, for example, and we have, this is pose A, and this is, I don't know, this is just the other side. And for example, this is your spacing. This is a nice ease in, and you can see here that the gaps, for example, are quite nice. But then what happens is if we go from here to here, that's going to look like it's jittering across the page. And if we go to here before we have the ease out like this, then this is going to look very unclear. So I'll actually animate that for you. So for example, if we go one here, then one here, just like that. So you see, it's not very clear in the middle section. We have the ears, but then it's very hard to read what's actually happening. So what we do is we can put a smear and or a multiple. So you can actually start to smear here. So this gap just here is quite large. So we can add a bit of drag here. Right, I'm just going to erase that because it's a bit dirty. So we can add a bit of drag here. And then the next frame is where we can actually get a lot going. Okay, and then remember squash and stretch, the volume changes. So we'll have to drop it out here. And then the next one, when we get to here, this can be like a massive stretch. And so now the spacing is not just here and here, you've kind of got one here, 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 and here. And it just makes, so now you've got 4, if you will, instead of just 2 little circles, and it makes it a lot easier to read and gives off the space. Oh, what have I done? I've drawn it on the same thing. And then we can ease out of the squash here. So now if we play it, see it reads a lot clearer, and we can see the ball going from one side of the room to the other. So in essence, it's there to help make emotion read clearly and to fill the gaps. So if we just do a quick example with a hand now, if we have a hand here like this, I'm just going to draw it like that on an arm. Okay, and then the next pose, we want it to, let's say the next 3 poses, we want it to get down to here. Right? Then the one in the middle here, to help connect that, we can do a multiple. So you could have one here like this. Then you could have another one here with a smear. And then maybe you can have something just here. And then when you get here, it should be all well and good. And then we'll just finish it off with a nice ease out. You can see now with my ease out, the spacing is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So I'm not concerned about the drawing, I'm just trying to show you the A, because I can't draw very well, and B, because I'm just trying to show you the principle of multiples and squash and stretch. So if you watch this, see that there? It's only 3 frames, but it reads like a few more. And it makes it very clear the action that we're doing. So now we're going to open Maya, and I'm just going to show you in Maya how you can do that with our blue rig. Alright, so now we're in Maya with our blue rig. We just need to get some base animation so we can start doing the multiples. So what I'm going to do is just a simple bounce animation. So we're going to start just in default for now, and then we'll go across 4 keys and we'll set a down pose, and then 2 keys, we'll set a jump, and then we'll move it up 2 more keys, and then 2 more keys, we'll do a bit of ease, 2 more keys, do a little bit more of an ease, 2 more keys, tiny ease, then 2 more keys, she can start to fall down, 2 more keys, falls down, 2 more keys, big down, and then 2 more keys, she's down. So we've just done it on 2s. So let's see how that plays, and we can tweak it. So she's a bit slow coming down. So we just grab the last 2 keys, shift them across 1. And we can open up the graph editors. I might have just gone a bit too ham in there. So you can see here, it doesn't look very nice. So easy to fix. All we have to do, grab these 2, shift it across 1, grab these 1, and then grab everything from here, shift it across 1 more. So we're just tightening up the hang time. And we can just delete that key. And we can see how that plays. Bring this down over here. Cool, so that is enough. So now we've got our base animation. Let's do a smear. So I'm just going to animate both things at the same time here, both wings. So this is how to do it manually with the rig itself without using any of the tools that Maya has access to. So I'm just going to grab the wings, and first we're just going to animate them. So it can start off in this down position, and then she can go to fly. Right, nice opposing action. Now these wings have curl controls like this, and bend and twist. So I'm going to use the bend. Now what I like with these wings is I don't really like this gap when these 2 wings come, and this is just a bit of an appeal thing. I just find it more appealing when the wings are like that, pressed to the body. So that's how you can ensure you keep this rig a bit more appealing. Cool. So we've got that now. And you also have to remember not to animate everything. Oops. I didn't set a key on this, so I didn't. Set a key. What's going on here? So set a key here, and then 0 this out here because we want it to happen as it goes down. Oh, the jump. It's easing into the jump. I don't like that. Let's play it again. Yeah, I think I want to delete a frame there. So we're just going to come back to the cog that we have here. And we're just going to shift. No, let's just leave it. Oh, no, I don't like it. Alright, I'm going to shift all of that, just 1 key across. And then this one as well. I want it to get up there fast. There we are, cool. So that gives us the big gap to fill. Alright, so now we just come across. Now we want the wings to flap down. And we can get rid of the bend. Okay, and now we can do the stretch. So how do we stretch? We want to fill this gap that was here and then here. So Blue herself can stretch a bit, so we'll just do a bit with Blue. Using these controls. I'm not sure if this might be better. Let's just undo this one. Yeah, I'll just do a little stretch like that. And then now we can just grab the actual geometry of the arms here, so the controls, and just stretch them out a bit more. We have to do this one at a time. Maybe I don't want to stretch the arms, maybe I want to stretch the wings. One at a time. No. There we go. Move the arm down and out, just down. I'm also going to scale them. And then I think we have to do the bend again. Just animate them ourselves. Rotate them. Why is the finger? I think the squash is affecting the wings. Yeah, okay. So we don't want to use that squash for now, because that's affecting the wings. Remember, I didn't set a key on this, so now I'm just backtracking. So we should always set a key on everything, right? Now we can just individually grab this. Maybe this one will be a bit easier. There we go. So we want to grab the corners of the arms here. And then we can bend them a bit. No. We'll have to do it manually. So this is this one, I believe. Nope, this one. And then you have to stick it out, right? Because we're going back in. And then grab the rest and do that. And then we can get a nice U, a nice C shape, sorry. And then just bring it back in. And then we have to do the same thing with this finger. Stick it out and then bring it back in. Then we can maybe scale. No, you can't scale the individual ones. Nope. See, no. Okay. So you can't scale that. Alright, so that's how we have to do it then. It's all good. Do you know what? I'm just going to leave it like it was actually, because it doesn't look so bad like this. And we're just going to, it's going to be quick anyway. We can come back in and clean it up. We'll just block it out nicely. Right, so then the wings, they come back up now. And these get back to normal. The scale here as well comes back to 1. And then this, to keep the appeal again, we bring this into here. And then we move the arms back up as well. So everything comes back full circle to where it was. And then we don't need the arms so high. Grab this, and just zero everything out. My bad, except for the last one. To remember, this should be 0. This is where it needs to be stretched. So the issue, the reason that we're going backwards right now is because we didn't set a key on everything at the same time. So normally when you animate, it's very wise to oh, I see what that is now. Okay, cool. To set a key on everything to prevent that. Alrighty, so if we watch that, that's cool. Now here, we want to have the wings bent out like this, and then curl. And they can open. And then when they come back down, this is where we can add another nice stretch here. So this is the big gap. Again, because we didn't set a key, so I'm just going to go back now. To prevent this from happening, I'm just going to select all controls and just set a key on everything. Oops. It's kind of animation 101 to do that, so I should be doing it. But now we should be sweet. So any change we make will not affect the frames before. Now the way to do this with the polish, in a nice polished way, would be to do it individually with these and get some really nice designs. But for the nature of this tutorial, for the time that we have, we won't do that. And then down. Don't know what we've done here, to be honest. I'm just going to zero it out because this is kind of what I want, like this. And we can just put a bit of curl on it again. Sorry, a bit of bend. There we go, and she can come back to default. Right, so now we've got some stretch. Now what about if we want to do some multiples? We'll look at that in the next video. For now, I just want to show you how to do the stretch with the rig, just naturally by bending the controls. The second thing that I want to do quickly is with the foot, we have some good opportunity. So I'm just going to animate the foot very quickly. Right, so this here in itself is a stretch. So this is fine. What we want is we want to have a foot roll, that's for sure. So she can push off. She can start here. And then when she comes up, we're going to do it offset like this. One foot can come higher than the other, like this. But the toes is where I want to add some nice stretch here. So we can grab this one. And with the feet, you can scale the feet, I believe. Which could look cool. But let's just do this. Right, like that. And then we grab this one, move it across like this. And then we'll grab this one, just move it across, get it in close together. Right, and that makes it just a bit more of a stretch. Just remember that we've got keys on everything now, so just delete. In here as well, we'll have to bring them in. Right. Bring the feet up. Like this. Now they're going into the body, right? So we want them up, but we don't want them in the body. We want them forward like this, so that we can see them. And this one can come out a little bit. This one can come back out here and then down. Right, now you might think this looks a bit dodgy, and it does. So what we can do is do the leg position here. Move that out up to here, so that now it looks really nice. And that's cool. And ideally we would probably do some rotation as well. But we'll do that at the end if we do it at all. So let's just pose these a bit nicely. I believe we have some secondary controls on there that we might be able to utilize to make it look nicer. Bendy controls, secondary controls, so if we turn those on, we'll be able to select this, and then when we come around here, we can pose the leg a bit nicer, like in a nice curl. So we can do that again. This polish sort of thing, we do that at the end. For now, just how do we want to pose this? Right. Now we'll just take this pose, put it here. And the same thing for this one. And then we'll just delay it because we don't want it to lead the action. Alright, so here this is fine. And then use the tweet machine to get them down there. 100%. Right, and then again, we've got this big gap. So when we do multiples, we'll put a multiple in here, but for now we will do the stretch. That looks good. Alright, so I'm just going to quickly set a camera as well so that we have the same angle all the time, because I don't want to have to keep changing. So create a plane, so we have a ground, and then set the camera. So to set the camera, I just want to check out this like this and make sure everything's cool. She lands, she jumps, she lands. Cool. So I'm just going to lock the camera now. Yeah, that's great. Alright, now I'm going to tweak this, but it's going to come in at the same time as the multiples. So since I'm doing that in the next video, I'm not going to worry about getting those legs there now. All I need to know is that they're moving round about where they need to be, right? And that's it. So the last thing that we can animate is the hair. Which doesn't look like it's in the picker, unfortunately. So for example, I'm just going to be a bit lazy with this as well. I think I can be. Not really. Because it's all on different. That's what's my rotation. Gimbal. If I do object, see what happens. No. Component. No. That kind of works. Let's go try object again with this. No. It's fine, so it's going to be a one at a time sort of thing, unfortunately. So can't really be bothered to do that now. We will have to do it though. So let's, I guess, just do it. Just try to be quick. Okay, so just delay it because we don't want it to start until the jump has begun. Right, and it can stay there until about here. We'll delete, and then we'll just make it normal. One more frame earlier. And then here, we want to have the stretch. So let's get back in close. And then, so it works basically all of it except for that one, which is kind of cool actually. It makes it kind of simple to do. So I'm just being rough, right? Not trying to get it perfect. We just need to see it in there. Alright, so that's enough. So set a key and then back down to 0 and 0 here as well. And then we want to get this down post that we did here, copy it, then put it here, and then come back up into the one that we had. And move it across one. See how that plays? Just reducing how much it actually moves. Right, and then what we can do is just offset it and stuff like that, so this one can fall a bit sooner. Maybe this here can take a bit longer. So it's just offset, right? And the one thing that we haven't done is actually just hitting a wall here. So we can just do a little overshoot down. To have that cushion have fall a bit better, right? So if we come here now I've got the squash and the stretch. You can see it's getting a bit stretched a bit too soon though. The translation, right? Because we haven't gone that far. So there is a rule on stretching and squashing that I would like to discuss actually, and I'll open up Sing Sketch again just to show you that. But you don't want to leave. You don't want the motion to go somewhere that the arm wouldn't hypothetically have gone. So for example, the highest that the hair should have been is here. So there's no reason for any sort of stretch to come up here. So let's fix that. So it's the translate that's doing that. So we will zero it out here. Because you only want it in that one frame, right? Do you remember? Just to fill the gap. Forgot I hadn't saved. We've done a fair bit of work, so I'd be annoyed to lose it. Right, that's cool. So the next thing that we might just want to do is with the eyes now. We have a few controls to animate the eyes. This one, or maybe is it that one? Yeah, that one. So we can come up here, we can stretch and move them down a bit. And then when they come back down here, we can stretch them again and then zero them out. Just a little bit of stretch in the eyes. We can just animate the brows really quickly. Lead with the brow. Whoops. Maybe not for now. Maybe we'll just do it with the eyelids, and we can layer that in for now. So I'm just going to lead with the eyes a bit, right, just like this. And then always have the eyes leading. they can come down and then down like this. And we can just do a quick blink. And then open them up. My bad, opened the wrong frame. And when she looks up, she will look up as well. Like this. Alrighty. Now we've got that looking pretty good, so let's just try and layer in a tiny bit of squash and stretch now before we move on to animating the multiples. It's a lot, right? Too much. Yeah, unfortunately that happens, so we won't do that. When she lands, we can most definitely do some. Alrighty. And then lastly, we rotated the cog here when she lands like this, just like a little bit. So we can do the same here when she jumps. She can lean forward a bit and then shoot up. And then when she shoots up, she can do that maybe. Let's see. Yeah, cool. So we'll just have the graph editor open again. This is the rotate R. So she can lean forward and then shoot up, right? This way. Like that. 2 frames, boom, boom, boom. And then she can come to be normal. Like that. Eyes are looking a bit dodgy. See if we just bring it down. Here I think we can lead with the eyes. Alright, that's cool. So in the next video, we'll look at the multiples and how we can add those in using Maya. Alright, so as I said, I just wanted to touch on some important rules that often, very, very often gets missed in our students' work at Lupin House. So quite often we give this note. So if you make sure this is in your work, it'll be fine, it'll be good, and you'll save yourself a note. So this is what I mean. For example, if you have something here, right? Let's just say that. And then you want to do a stretch pose here, right? Just remember that the whole point of a stretch is to fill the gap so that we can read it. Now, what will happen is you're going to stretch this, which is fine, but you're going to maybe I think this is the reason why it happens, and it's you don't set the key to be 0 here. And what will happen is as it starts to move, like let's just put one more key here. So what will happen is as it starts to move, it starts to stretch like this. And then you get the move. Now what's happened is you've gone somewhere that the ball or this square actually wasn't, right? So there's a key here and a key here. There was not a key here, but for some reason that's the stretch. And so you have to always remember the stretch only comes from where the ball once was. So if you're stretching this way, there should never be anything past this line, right? It's the path. So if you've got this path and you got a ball here, stretch like this, right? Maybe a big one like this, catch it here. That makes sense, right? But never, like here for example, you never have something past where it is. It's always coming from. So it's just, I know that sounds extremely simple, and it is extremely simple, but I will not begin to tell you how many times I've given that note that you need to only ever stretch from something. So if you're coming here and you're stretching out here, just to repeat it for the 50th time, right? You never start from out here. And it's literally because I think people forget to set a key, because I know that that's a thing. And so when you're doing this squashing and stretching, you just remember you always have to come from where you've been, not anywhere else. Alright, so how do we do a multiple? When you're working in feature film, you might have a separate rig. So if you're going to be doing a lot of multiples with an arm, you'll have a separate rig of an arm that you can bend and use and implement. But when you don't have that luxury, you have to do it manually. So there's a few ways you can do a multiple, and I'm going to show you here now. So first, you got to identify where you want your multiple. So I want it here. I want to have one here. So what I can do is I can set a key here on the leg, right, and keep it there. Or what I can do is move it to where I want the multiple, and then shape it how I want to shape it. And then copy it, and then delete it. And I'll show you what I mean. So I'm just shaping this, and I'm doing it kind of nice the first time, because once you duplicate it, you only get the one time to do it. After that, you have to restart. So just trying to prevent having to restart. But at the same time, for the sake of this tutorial, it's not about getting it absolutely perfect. However, I just get a little bit fiddly. You know, I think that's something as well. If you want to be an animator, you got to be somewhat OCD, because you got to want to get things kind of how they should be, at least a little bit. That's a bug. Thought we fixed that. Alright, so let's say now I'm happy with this. So what we want to do is we want to duplicate the geometry. And we need to make the geometry selectable. Okay, so by default it will be off. And so we just need to geotype normal. So now we can select the geo and Shift D. Remember, it's not copy and paste. And so now we have the legs here. Okay, now we just have to select these faces. And delete them because we only want the one. Okay, so this is where the leg was. Now, let's put it back where I wanted it, which was down here. Right? So, what we have to do now is also I don't want the leg. So we select the face. Oops. Select the face, and we can come a few frames up just so we can select it easily. Shift, hold Shift and use the full stop key to grow your selection. And delete, right? Because that's what I want. And then that's cool. So now I've got this. This is my multiple. And I can put it wherever I want. So now that I've got it, you have to just unlock this. Unlock selected, modify center pivot. Don't know if that does the trick. Yeah, it did. Cool. So there we are. Put it there. So you set a key on it and you set the visibility to on, and then one frame before you turn it off, and then one frame after you turn it off. But in this case, I do want it off, but I do want another one as well. So I'm just going to come here, Shift D, and I'm going to move it down into here and rotate it as well. Unlock selected. And then just bring these up a little bit. See how that plays. Remember, you need to switch it off. Set 0 on 0. Okay. So let's see how that plays. Not very clear, to be honest. I think we need to drag it out a bit more. Oh, it could be cool. Shift D. Unlock. Maybe a little one like this. My scale is a bit too small. Alright, so Z, bring it forward. Going to just try it like that, and then Shift D again. Just have another one like that. Shrink this one down a bit. Unlock selected. What I'll show you now is the next way to deform it. So rather than doing the deformation with the rig and then copying it, you can add what's called a lattice deformer. And oops, what that does is gives you some flexibility. So 3, 3, 3, 3 is fine. That's just how many sections. Control Z. I think that maybe 4 would have been better. But let's see. Then you want to do lattice point, and you want to set a key for default because you can't. There's nothing to reset really. So here now we can just start deforming the foot. Just turn off this. Cool. So I'm just going to hide the deformer now. And remember, whoops, we want the visibility set on, set off, set off. Set on, set off, set off. Now we should be able to read that a bit better. Yeah, heaps better. Just going to shrink my timeline so it's leaping quicker. Alright, so what's the next thing we can do? We can do the same on the way up if you want. For example, you could Shift D here. You could do it there. We do need to fix this foot here. Alright. So now we can do maybe a wing as well. Just kind of see which wing we want though. I think that one. Shift D. And unlock everything. Unlock, unlock, unlock. So this might be one that was better to do the wing thing. So you could open another rig as well and just get the pose you want. I'd like to let's just see how it looks. It might look bad, it might look good, it might work, it might not. It's not really the shape that you want. That's not so bad. Some things I like to do as well is the eyes. I'm not sure if it's going to suit this animation or not. So let's see. Like this. It might not look good, but it's worth a try. Everything is always worth a try. I think animation, unlock selected. Unlock selected. Animation is something where you should always try. If you have an idea, it's worth trying. It's like Ricky Gervais said: if you're gonna make someone laugh, it's worth saying, even if you think it may not be funny, or something. That he's got a quote along those lines. Alright, this is the glossy thing, which is important to cover because when you render, you do want that. So now where do we want it? There is fine, but we don't want it in front of his hair. Oh, I've got the hair as well. So I put this back on ref, so I don't select it. Oh, this goes with it. Dang, okay, that's cool. Normal. I just will be careful not to select it. That's a bit weird. Let's go here. 6. Oh, so annoying. It's like that, is it? Just need to unlock. I thought that was the case. Off. On, off. Let's just see. You know, this is one of those times where it may not be necessary, but we can try. Squash them down. Shift D. Unlock. Move them across. And out. So I'm just, yeah, like this is just showing you how, right? So sometimes it may not be worth using it. Other times it might be. This might be too much. Maybe they don't need to down here. Yeah, something like that. I think it's cool, but I think what's cool is without that. see. So here you can see the rule that it's breaking, right? So remember, this is where my mouse is the max that it was. And you see that is now past it, so that is too high, right? And then this, you don't want it to be smack in the middle, so I'm just going to favor it here with a tiny bit, maybe. That should be fine. That's cool. Alright, so now we'll just look what else we can do. Like, I'm really pushing this tiny shot as much as possible to kind of show you how to do this. Just creating a more appealing pose there. The only other thing I can think of doing is deleting these because they were really bad. Just getting this a bit better. So for example, if we just copy this wing instead. Alright. Shift D. And just unlock everything. Unlock. Move. And then now I'm just going to Shift D, so I have two, and I'll select the faces of this one. No, it's not possible. I just want one. That's fine. What I'll do is I'll use a complex lattice. So for example, this one, deform lattice, but because I want to have individual control of each part of each side, I'm just going to do something like 10, 10, 10. Oh gosh. Apply. Alright. Now remember, we can't see the lattice right now. So now I can get in a bit closer. Select the lattice. I'm just going to make it so I can't select this anymore. It is super hard to see. I don't really know if what I'm doing is good. It's part of the fun. Yeehaw. What I'll do is I'll have two windows side by side. This one will show no deformers. This one will show deformers. So I can see what's going on. Tricky thing, but perhaps worth getting right. As you can see, I've really busted up this deformer. Let's just hit play and see how it looks. So show deformers, bring this across. Now we need to animate them on and off, right? So where do we want it? See how it's moving through the lattice? It's important to know. If you want to move it, you have to move the lattice. Let's just see how it looks. Off, oops. Off, on, off. Not working. I think that one's pretty ugly. So maybe we just try this one. Stretch it out like that. It's probably the better option for sure. I don't actually really like the wings here either, so let's fix them. Yeah, I prefer the way they were, to be honest. So let's just copy this key. Right. This, whatever's going on here, let's just put it back. And I think there's a nicer way to do this. There might be here with the multiple. I'm just going to separate objects with modeling, mesh, separate. So now that I should be able to move that by itself. So you can feel that now without seeing it, which is cool. Alright, so in the next video, we'll just polish this shot up. We'll get it all done. We'll make it all nice. We'll get everything kind of appealing, and we can call it a wrap. Yeah, she's super capable, this rig. So even when it comes to, we haven't even touched the jaw or done anything with the mouth, but she's just got such an appealing, yeah, she's sick. She's sick. So I'll see you in the next video. Any questions, just post them in the comments or send us an email. Okay, so unfortunately what happened was I was recording the tutorial and I wasn't actually recording my screen, so there's just an hour of me talking, and we made a fair bit of progress. As you can see here, we've added loads of multiples to the shot and it's actually playing pretty cool now. And so it's pretty much the juice of the shot that I didn't record, but everything that I did is everything that we've discussed and done in the previous parts. There was nothing new that I did, it was just more of the same thing. So I'm just going to go over now quickly everything that I did that we missed. So these are speed lines, these black lines here, so I added some speed lines. And then some feather overlap as well, so you can see here I've copied, duplicated the feathers and delayed them here. And there's another feather here as well, and another one here, one more here. So I've added some delay and the speed lines are the same. Now what I've also done here is I've curved the foot. So in the last video this foot wasn't curved. So the reason I did that is because we're doing an arc. We're doing an arc around like this, right? So I wanted to lead in that arc by curving the foot. So you can see now there, we got this path of action. So it springs around and then comes down here like this. So that is done with the bendy controls, which you can access via the main control. I've also added a multiple here, right? Dragging another one here, and then I've put one here as well to have a spread like that, so it's to give off the fast motion moving this way, right? And you can see I've done the same thing on this foot, spread like that. And then as it comes down, I've put a long one here. This one I've put into 3 just so it's not all the same. And you can see I've got the nice bend here on both the legs, like that. And then here, we've gone pretty crazy. I'm not sure how much of this was in the other version, but what we've done is we've done it to the hair as well. So if you look at the hair here, you can see that we've dragged it behind a bit, let some fall off like this, like that. And that gives it a nice feel. And we have, I'm not sure if we did the eyes in the last video, so we've got the eyes, which is spread as well. These guys here. We've done the feathers again here as well. So again, just duplicated the geometry and moved it here. We've made sure as well that we've put, see how the foot is bending like this, because it's moving that way, this way, so it's dragging right like that. So we've got a nice angle on the foot like this, which is something that wasn't there before. Yeah, we also animated her mouth, you know, so she's just like a happy person. We're gonna make it a bit nicer as well. It doesn't look like a smile yet, it's just an open mouth. But we're gonna do that in the next part. And we've also animated a blink and a bit of a squash on her face when she lands. So what we have left to do is animate the wings. So you can see the wings are like this. At the moment I want to get it more like that. like this, and maybe another multiple there, and then they can go back into normal. So we need to add the wings there. This, yeah, just here, make it more appealing. And then polish the shapes. So we're going to get this to make this really nice with the polish tool, and just make sure that everything looks really nice and really good. Like here, we can get this edge real smooth like this. Get these all looking good. So you can see everything that we did in the past, we just did everywhere else. I also changed the foot position, the foot pose. You can see it's sliding here. I need to fix that. Slides back to where it was. But when she lands now, it's like her feet are out like this. Before they were just straight ahead in default position. When she does go wide, we've moved her legs across here like this. Right. So you can see she's like doing the splits. She wasn't doing that before. And I've just paid attention to the arcs, right? So it's always coming around. So doosh, 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 doosh. See? But they're doing it at different times to get the asymmetry in there. So it's not just tweened. We've added squash and stretch in the body a little bit. I think that was already there. Yeah. So if you're watching slow motion, the wings. I want to put one here as well. Maybe one there like that. It's just showing the motion that we couldn't with a frame. But it's looking pretty cool. I'm pretty stoked with it. I think it really shows in basically every single way that you can do a multiple using different tools. So it's come out really well. So once we polish it and do the final little touch, it's going to be a nice piece of animation. It's a good little tutorial. Yeehaw. Again, as always, if you have any questions, I apologize that you weren't able to see me do that. It took me about an hour to do everything, so I didn't want to redo it. But if you have any questions, just post it in the comments and we'll get back to you with some clarifications. But yeah, we'll polish it in the next video, and then once it's rendered, there is a final step that we have to do. So for example, I don't want this to be constantly, I'm gonna show you. So I don't constantly want it to be all the same level of this. I want it to fade. You know what I mean? So it's not always just 100%. Unfortunately, I can't show you because it's not the exact same color the whole time. I thought it was. Oh, how interesting. But yeah, these will be faded out. They're not going to be like 100% in color like that. So that's just something to consider and remember. But we're going to do that. But we have to. I don't know how to do it in Maya. I know there's a way using layered textures and ramp shaders, but I'm just an animator and I've got no idea how to do that sort of stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it in post. I'm going to have this on a separate layer, so when it's rendered, and I'm just going to erase it so it's fading into the animation, which will be sweet. So yeah, so that'll be part of the polish, and I'll see you in the next video. Alright, welcome back. So today we are just going to polish and finish up the animation, and then we're going to use the sculpt tool just to clean up everything and just get it up to feature quality shot. So the first thing I want to do is the wings here. So if you see the wings, when they're coming down, we should add some drag. So if you come here, just there, this one here. It'd be really nice to get some drag, and I'm going to do that with the curl control, like that, and then the bend control, like a little bit, and then I'll rotate the wings out. Jump on gimbal, like this. So we can now play with the bend a bit more. So they're following a path. Alright, that's cool. And then the wings when they land as well, right? So I don't know what's going on here. I think we just got to zero out one of these controls. So let's zero those out. Yep, there we go. Okay, and then we just have to do some overlap with the wing. So as it lands here, or here as well, we should put some more flap like that. So you can see she's a super intuitive rig when it comes to this sort of stuff. And here she can come in like this and also rotate as well. Why? Yeah, like that. And then just out a little bit. And then in just a tiny bit. So now when she lands, we've got a nice settle. And they're a bit stiff. So let's do that, slow them down a bit. And delay them a bit as well. So we want it to be overlap. It's kind of moving at the same time as the body. So as that comes out, and then when she comes back down, we can do that, and also just release a little bit this. There we go. And now we can also see if we can just get some separation with the wings, the feather here, like this. So maybe, just maybe we want to do it with the individual like this. So this is a little bit nitty gritty. Gonna do it, still gonna do it two at a time, right? Just to here, I would actually like to have these bending out a little bit more. I wonder if I can mirror this. Not sure if it'll work. Nice, beautiful. Here can do the same thing, and then, but then we'll also do it with this one as well, and this one, these all as well a little bit, and we'll just mirror. And then we can, oops, rotate them kind of in a bit like that. And then mirror again. So it's the same. And now if we watch, and then just bring them out to default here. So just select them all, and then just zero everything out. right? And then what I'll do is just get a bit of separation. So I'll grab all of them except for this one and just move it out a little bit to get a bit of separation with the rest of the fingers or the feathers. Cool. Alright, so that's looking a bit better. I think maybe we can do some overlap as well on the way in here. So let's just select the arm again and then see what the bend does for us. Like that. Like that, yeah. Let's play it. Cool. And then I just want to bring them in a bit. So I'm going to open the graph editor here because I want it to come a little bit sooner. And we're dealing with the Z rotation for both. Right, so we have this. I think I just need to delete that. There we are. And you see now she's kind of moving isolated, so we might have to just put the body in it a little bit. So we'll just grab the cog and then we can, as she comes up, see her body just stops here. So she can come up. And then down here. And just connect it with the wings a little bit. And now we can get some offset as well with this one here. So a little bit of squash. Right, so set a key here. Then as it comes up, I can delay it just a little bit. And then come up. So it's barely noticeable, but you can hopefully feel it. Cool. So when she lands, I think we need to just make it a bit sharper, the bounce, right? See, that's a bit slow, so let's make that a bit faster. Set a key here, like that. So we bounce and then ease in. Let's have a look. Cool. Now we just got to fix whatever rotation is going on here. We don't want her to rotate until here, so insert a key. Ah, interesting. So it's a bit weird, but let's see what's going on here. So she's landing. So set a key here. This key then now needs to come up. Like that. And she can overshoot a little bit this way. There we are. We can maybe push the squash as well. Let's see. Nah. It's looking a bit slow, so let's just play, see what's going on there. I think it's the eyes. Let's see. Yeah. So I'm going to select the eyes. So this is an important part as well, being able to watch your work and analyze why something may not be working. So this felt slow, and I thought it was the body, and it may still be, but definitely we can speed up the eyes, because you see she's like got these 1, 2, 3 to close, and you don't need 3, especially when she's landing, right? So that's the issue first that we need to fix. So we'll see if that looks good, and then after that it could be fine, or we might need to adjust something else. But when you're analyzing your work, you've got to see the big problem and then work backwards to the tiny little nitty-gritty stuff. But let's just fix that now and see how it looks. Alright, so I've got the lids and the brows. Let's just move that to 2 maybe. That could be sweet. Let's see. I don't think she needs to get so much brow in there as well. She's going to be grumpy. I know this is not part of the tutorial, like the focus is the smears and multiples, but we should still pay attention to making a nice shot. Okay, so the last thing I thought to do as well is put a bit of a smile on her. So as she jumps up here, lift these up like that, it's super cute. We need to add a bit of depth in there. Okay, so it's not really doing much, that's fine. Do translate Z. Okay, just a little bit so it's not digging into the eyes. Can't really see. We'll have to clean that up. Maybe that's a better way to do it. Maybe we can just do it here. No, that's fine. We'll clean it with the polish tool. So we can just do it with the full eye-ring for now. And we'll just clean the shape. So I'm going to delete this key here so it starts as she gets up, and it can kind of just stay up, I would say. And to there. Then we can open it up. Get it up a bit quicker as well. Drag it across. Let's see. Let's play that now. That's cool. Alright, now I just want to see. It looks really good. I'm pretty happy with that, and we can move on to the polish. But I just want to check if there is anything we can do for the there, just to get a little bit of jiggle in the body, because I know we have this control here, but it's not really what I want to use. Just seeing if this is going to be cool or not. Not really. Yeah, that's fine. She's going to have the groom anyway, so it's going to be hard to see any jiggle, actually. Alright, cool. So, we'll save this. So this is the animation. This is done, right? So this is the... Let's see if there's anything that we should fix. Yeah, I guess actually as the wings come up, they should drag the opposite way. Like that. Right, so just remember the drag. And I like default normally to have them in a bit like that. That's cool. There we are. There we go. Okay, sweet. So that's looking pretty cool. It's enough. It's enough. All right. So let's just quickly do the polish. All right. So I'm gonna save this. And in the next video, we'll use the sculpt tool and begin to clean up the shapes to make sure they're a bit smooth. One last thing. See, this always happens. You think you're finished, and you keep seeing things that we could do that could be fun. Is use these and do like a little bit of a squash as she lands. See how that plays. Yeah, I like it. So I'm going to do it on the other foot as well. It's subtle, but it's cool. Set. You know, something that might be better as well is if we can scale. And then back to normal. Like that. That's cool, that's chill, that's fine. So we'll save it, and in the next video we'll clean it up with the polish tool. Alright, so to install and polish, it's extremely simple. All you need to do is download the file. It's this is the premium version, so if you want the premium you can buy it. I've never used the premium, I just use it for the sculpting, so I just get the free one here. If you want to leave a donation you can, and that's it. So you just click down, I want this, and then once you get it, you'll get it in a, you'll be able to just download the folder, and then once you download the folder you have to put the Animate polish folder in your scripts folder, just like any script, and then that's it. And then open a new Maya scene, and then you just copy this into a Python. It's important that it's Python, so I'll just show you in Maya. I've already closed Maya. So you copy that into your Python editor, and then you drag it to your shelf. I might just open Maya to show you. Maya is gone. Just give you the full round, and cool. So while that opens, basically, and then you'll notice in my Maya, I have a little Pixar ball as my polish, right? And for me, the reason I did that, you see here, Pixar is just the standard, right? And if you want to work at Pixar, if you wanted to have feature quality work, you'd probably be using this polish tool all the time. And for me, it's just an inspiring thing to have. It's like, yeah, I'm making it Pixar quality, which is why I have the ball here. So you click this, and then you go into Python and you paste rectangle. That's odd. So you copy this, and then you click Command Execute. It should open it up, right? But to save it to your shelf, all you have to do is just select it, middle mouse drag it onto your shelf like that, and this is how it will look. And it's the same thing, and now you've got it on your shelf. So all you have to do is just edit, and then you come to shelves, and then you see the icon name. That's where you change the name, not the name, sorry, the picture. Sorry, I'm a bit lost. What's happened here? Picture. Icon preview. Oh right, sorry, because this isn't new. This is, I was like, mine should be Pixar. Because this, yeah, so this is what it is. So then you just click this, and then you can go to wherever you save the picture. I'll have the picture as a link in the description. You can download it, and then you just select the picture. So you come to your downloads, Pixar ball, PNG, open, and then save to all shelves. And then there it is. And that's how you can install it. Alright, so welcome to the final video of this class. Now what we need to do, there's only a few things to polish. This tool is used for a lot of things, but what we're going to use it for in particular is just cleaning up the feathers that we have no control over because they're no longer part of the rig. Pardon me. So I'm going to turn this onto normal so I can select the geometry. And then, pardon me. And then select the geometry here. Alright, cool. So once you have the geo selected, I'm actually going to separate it as well now because I want to do one at a time. I don't know if it matters, but just in case it does, separate. Hit 3, so they're like this again. Alright, cool. So on this feather in particular, right, so we're coming from this direction, from here, right? So we've got to follow that. See how this is come as if it's come from here. So I want to bend this feather, sculpt it to go the other way. So we're going to open the polish tool, come in close, this way. Now I'm going to sculpt. Now with this, you have to go to your sculpting, and then, so I'm going to press B to get the brush down to the size I want. So I want to have it bend this way. So I'm going to do the grab tool, right, and just grab it to go this way. Don't worry too much about not nailing it, right, because we can fix it. There's a smooth here, so I'm going to just do a quick little, ooh. Don't go too hard on it. Right, so now it looks like it's come that way. So now I'm just going to apply standard sculpt, and you'll see here you can turn it on or off. So it's a really, really powerful tool, and I freaking love it. So now let's do this side. Just select it, sculpt, and do the same thing. So we'll use the grab tool. And it doesn't matter if it's not the same, right? Because because it doesn't have to be like identical. So you just kind of get it to the gist, the way you want it. And then we can use the smooth and just kind of clean it up. Oh. So you have brush settings, and you can reduce the strength, right? So now when you do it, it's like less powerful. Still pretty powerful, but so if we turn it down a bit more, probably should have done that. Let's try again with the pull. So this, by the way, is the kind of polish you may not think you need to do, but it makes the world of difference. Right, so I'm going to apply it. So now when we apply it, see, now it's following that beautifully. Looks really cool. So now we can do the same thing with this one. So we hit Q, sculpt, zoom in, and just use the grab. Right, so we want a bit of an S-curve in this one. Like that. It's pretty nice. And apply. So we've got this one as well, don't forget, we'll do that after that one's. That one's fine for now. Just do the major things. I saw this foot was pretty cooked as well, so this is something I wanted to fix with the foot as well. So I'm just going to go here. Right, and then sculpt. And then this one I just want to smooth out, right? It's all jacked. I don't know. Okay, so that's the whole. Okay, cool. I see what's going on now. So I'm just going to go back to camera view now. I don't want to have a big lump. Oops. I think it looks better. Not sure if I like it, but it's fine. So we'll apply. Select it and apply the standard sculpt. So we can see the difference if we select it and turn it on. Definitely looks better. I think you can actually see as well as a issue here. Right. Alright, I think if we go perspective, we'll fix that afterwards in post. Yeah, that's fine. Cool. So let's fix this now. Sculpt and grab brush and just get that to follow the curve that you wanted it to. I don't think I nailed that one. I'm going to just Control Z. Alright, and just get it again. Try it again. Smooth it out. B. Should be fine. Actually, I went the wrong way on that one. Don't know if I can just delete the channel or not. Break connections. Nope. Just undo. So it's coming from that direction. Like that. High standard. Cool. So we can do the same thing to make the speed lines cool, because these speed lines are pretty crappy looking, like they're just super straight. But I don't know if I am bothered with it. I really don't think we need them. So I'm just going to delete them. And it's so easy just to put those in post that it's not really worth sculpting all the geo. Alright, so let's clean up these feet a little bit. Make sure you get a nice curve on everything. Here in particular. Just smooth out a little bit. Right? It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's obviously a big improvement. So you can see what we did here. See that? Just makes it much nicer. So that's that one. Let's look at the other ones. These ones are not so bad, to be honest. Sculpt. And what are we starting with? Smooth. Shrink my brush size a little bit. Seems to have done the opposite. It's weird. .5. Just have it a bit smaller in here. trying to make sure I've just got nice clean lines. That looks better. A little bit of smoothness now. Just in general. Alrighty, so that's fine. Now let's fix the eyes. Right, so when we come up here, we just see how this is not a perfect circle, just let's make it a perfect circle. So sculpt. And we'll just use the grab tool and just slowly bring it up and just clean that shape up. So the thing I love about this tool is it makes everything possible. Nothing is impossible once you've got this tool. If you can draw it, you can do it with the rig. Right, so that's a nicer shape now. Apply standard. Now this one we have to key on and off. So we're going to key selected. Because we want it on. Here we don't want it on, right? Here's fine. And then we probably want it on here. Whoops. Oh no. What have I done? I pressed A, and A did something. So I just Control Z. What is the frame? I think that's the frame. Apply standard. Alright, so it's a bug. When was the last time I saved? 1552. It's annoying. File, save scene as demo 2. Because if I click, it goes back to normal. So, oh, there we go. Nice. Zero. I do remember getting a few bugs like that every now and then when I use it. That's fine though. Okay. It's just sticking out a bit. So I just want to have it like that. It's better. Alright, cool. The last thing I see is just this here. This is a bit quirky, so I'm just going to sculpt that, clean it up. But the first thing I can try to do is with the rig. Doesn't look like it, so you've been condemned to sculpt. Let's smooth it out. Always from the camera view because that's the one we can see. Use the grab tool. Let's make that part of the foot higher. Bring this part down. Just cheating. Apply standard. Right, so you can see this is why we've got to turn it off. Here, don't want it there. Here, see the difference that we've got. I'm just gonna, yeah, it's better, and turn it straight off. But I do want, I don't like it, so I'm just gonna sculpt. Perspective view might make it better for me. No. I wonder if there's a port sculpt. Nice. Just keep it like that, it's clean. You know, it's just, it's not really though, is it? See if we can do it with the rig now on top of that. There we go, we'll just hide it. Cheat to camera, right? Golden rule of animation. Camera 1. There we go. Let me just hide this. Right, so now we just got the feet. Squabba. So it looks like. Here we can get rid of this. Rotate it forward. Cool, so that's how you can use the sculpt tool. I don't think there's really anything else we need to fix dramatically. Cool. Alright, so I think we can call that done. Let's just watch it. It's enough, right? It's a little bird jumping, and you can see all the multiples at work. And now you know how to do the multiples and how to polish and make it all beautiful. Awesome. Alright, so well done for making it this far, and welcome to the final video of the course. Today we're going to put that final touch on our shot. Some people would call it done, but we can take it that step further and really just make it a feature quality shot by putting that extra effort in our multiples by drawing over the top and erasing. As I mentioned, I want to get some transparency in the multiples, which I'll show you examples of in feature films after this. But I couldn't do it in Maya because I'm just an animator. I've got no idea how to do it. So I'm going to do it in Photoshop or Krita afterwards, and I'll show you how to do it too. So you don't have to go deep into how to work with textures because I've got no idea how to do that. So the first thing we will look at is examples of smears and what we're going to be trying to achieve. So I'll just turn the sound off here. So firstly, you can see here we have normally there's a way to go to each drawing. Oh yeah, here you go, cool. So you can see here's a multiple here. Here's some nice multiples here. You can see there's this little effect here drawn on afterwards. You can see here they've just cut the leg off just as we've done it and stretched it out. Added some, I don't know if that's the car boot or a smear line, I'm not sure. Here they've added some nice 2D speed lines which we can do to our shot. We'll be doing this a little bit. It gets really cool in here as well, like that look just there. Remember, this is quite an arty show as well, so what works here may not work for us, but you can see here we're leaving the feet behind just here, and then there as well they've just cut the feet off. And here is a cool example of Gwen coming out of the frame with speed lines, so using a smudge there, so we can look at doing something like that. And then we have Sam Webster, who is an amazing animator and mentor at Lupin House, and he's done this incredible shot with Garfield. And in Garfield you can see here there's transparency. This is what I was talking about, getting the transparency on the limbs that we're doing. So it's not always, see here, it's not always 100% just a cut, as you could see in the Spider-Verse one. So that's what we'll be doing. Now, when we worked on Garfield, we actually had a rig that did this for us, that had the transparency, and it was all done for us. So since we don't have that, we have to do it ourselves. And so what I've done is organized everything in Krita. So we have folders like this of each frame that we have multiples with. I'll just turn everything off. And we'll start with this one. So we have the main frame. Here, this is the multiples, and then we have the actual frame here, and then we have a paint layer here. So all we're going to do is just try and make this cool. So we shall turn on the multiple, zoom in a bit, and the first thing we might do is just shift that around, is just add some transparency on top of the wings. So I'm going to do that by grabbing this brush tool here and pressing E to get the eraser, and then we should be able to erase it like this. We're just on the wrong layer. So here we are. Shrink the brush down and then start off on the side. Maybe we should also just put on symmetry so that it's happening on both sides, although they're not symmetrical. So let's not do that. We'll just come back in just like that, just fade it. See that one? Just do the same thing. That. Same with the eyes here. Maybe not that way, this way. Actually, for the eyes, I think what we might do is do the drawing. So there's no right or wrong here, by the way, guys. I'm just experimenting. Now to select the color, grab the eyedropper. Just get some speed lines, whisk it up. Get black. Get some of the other color in here. Oops. It's kind of like a fake motion blur, right? And we can do the same thing down here. So maybe when you do it, you have more of a reason behind what you're doing. Maybe you've got a super cartoony shot or something, like graphic style, just like that. And if you need to erase, you can just press E, just erase it. So that looks pretty cool. Now let's see if we can do the same thing on the wings. This is where you can really come in, just clean it up. You can even tweak the wing shape a bit just by going a bit more bananas. Don't forget, if you press E, you can always just erase. Like that. Press B again to get the brush, or E again, sorry, to stop the eraser. We can do the same thing on the feet here. So just brush and then just get it, just bring it up. So it's, instead of doing motion blur, this is kind of what we're doing. Here we don't quite have the same color. Might bring some of that back. Yeah, and we don't have to always be on the foot as well. We can do a bit of that as well. So we'll press the eyedropper again, just because this is a different color. Alright, so that looks pretty cool now. So we've got these ones up here. So these ones up here, I wasn't actually a huge fan of. I don't think they work too well, but because they're here, we will have to adjust them. And I think this might call for the eraser. Oops, on the paint layer, so here. That. And then we can come back to the paint layer, switch brushes again. Not sure which brush I was using, unfortunately. Maybe this one. And select this color and just drag it out a bit. I'm also going to use this moment to kind of get a better shape. On here. I'm going to erase as well now. This in here, press E to erase. E to erase. Oh, it's It's on here, so I'm going to swap layers. Just want to get a better shape in here. Control Z, went too crazy. Alright, try again. Or maybe we just hide it with some drawing. Yeah, maybe that's the better shot. Turn on the multiples again. And there we go. So we could call that done. Maybe just one more line up here. Just like that. Cool. And that's nice. So let's see the next one. This one we will do the transparency layer. Oh, that's right. We're just getting this one redone because he accidentally rendered that. Right, so that looks nicer. And we should have the next. I'll just do the same thing to this one, but I just need to get the new render, which we'll have by the time this video finishes. I'll just have to reload it. Alright, and we can try and do a little smears, some lines. And remember, you can always press E to erase, just to tone it back a bit. Didn't really like that one. That's fine. So that's cool for that one. We just, once we get the new frame, we'll fix that. So let's look at the second one. I don't know, what are these selecting things? Okay, cool. So this one's a fun one. This is the double foot. I think we can do some drawing. Oh, we've got the eraser selected, so just drag that off. I wonder if we can try some smudge sort of stuff. Not too strong. Just shrink down the size of the brush. See, maybe if we want to smudge some of the foot out. give it the illusion of speed. And we can come back to the paint layer and just do some more drawing. We'll see how that looks. We might edit it, we might take it away. But that looks pretty cool, I think. Let's keep going. Close that one down. Cool, so this one just simply a transparency vibe. Just like that. And I think if we are doing the drawing, we might need to make it consistent. So we'll just do a little bit here as well. Just like that. Cool, so we've got another one of those feet. So here, I'll do a little bit of transparency. And then a little bit of the texture. Something like that. That's cool. All right, look at the last one. Okay, cool, so another transparency layer here. So by transparency, I mean we're just erasing, fading into it. And then we'll put a draw layer to do the drawing. Brush on the new layer, just keeping in the motion. I would like to also, unfortunately I don't have all the layers here, but it would be cool to do like some of that for the whole thing, but we won't have the time for that. So this now as well, we want to do transparency. I didn't see at the start, but we have these feathers here. It looks like it's another one that's snuck in here, but that's fine because it's, yeah, it's fine because it's disconnected enough. And we can do the layer here. Oh, we've already got one. So you can see this is it's a small thing to do, but it will definitely, in the long run, add to the appeal of the movement. So the last one should be frame 7. this one. So here we want to add some transparent, while I've got the brush I may as well do this first. It's hard because I need to see, it'd be better if I could see the frame before. It'd be better if I had the animation here basically, so I could frame by frame and make it work. Because I need to see what the frame before is, but I think we'll just go for it and hopefully it will, pardon me, hopefully it will play out alright. And transparency. Oops. Oh, this one looks like it's snuck through as well. That's fine. I'll do some of the lines on here as well. Like that. And that should be done. Maybe we can add to this. This one doesn't suit what we've done, so we'll come back in here and we should maybe have this follow more of the arc. Maybe we can get a bit more in here. There we are. Alright, so that's that. We just need to get the final frame, so I'll just check if I have that now. Alright, so I've got the new pose. So we have the multiples. We have the old multiples as well. So I'm just going to keep those off, turn the new ones on, and then what we have to do is just do the erase layer. So just come in here and just erase like that. Same with this one, and this one. Too much on that one. Just kind of want to. That sort of thing. And then with these paint layers, I'm just going to actually remove that one, because now we can see this here, we really need to follow that path. So if we click here and come to the paint layer, which is here, we're on it, and we've got the right brush. Do we have the right color? No. Then we want to follow that path there. We had it coming from this side before, which was incorrect. That's fine. Alright, so that should be sweet. Let's send this now to my lighting team, and they'll composite it together, and then we should be able to watch it in all its glory. So I'll see you in the next part. Alright, so we've got the render and it's looking pretty good, right? We've done the render, and I've just noticed that this is not really reading, like these eyes are not really reading very well, and that's because they're just coming on and then they're gone, but they can't be gone like this. So what I'm going to do is just duplicate these by going Shift D and then moving them down slightly like that, setting a key for the visibility, off, on, and then off. And I'm going to do the same for these here. I'm going to Shift D, and my thought is if I can't get it to look good, I'll just delete it. We don't use it. Push them out. Do like two. Turn them on. Okay, so we need to make that the same. But turn it off. Let's just make that the same as well. And turn it off because I know it was coming up and that could cause a motion blur issue. So now we've done that, let's just play it again. Maybe these are just too high. Maybe we need the eyeballs as well. Shift D and unlock everything. W. C -2, like that. Minus more. That's 4. I just think maybe we tried something just too maybe we did too much. Yeah, it's too much. It's not moving enough to have the eyes. So what I might do is just delete it in post rather than having it. Just don't think that this works. Bring this down. Just delete them. That's fine. Let's see how that plays now. Yeah, it looks better. There's too much. It's just had these weird eyes popping up. So we should delete those. And fortunately, we've got the render without the those bits. So all I have to do is just delete it, which is fine. So it's worth trying, but it didn't work out in the end. Alright guys, that's the end of the course. I hope you've enjoyed it. Now if you're here, you're literally at the very last second of the course, and that's really cool. So we want to offer you access to our Animation Launchpad program. And basically what that is a year-long program. So this is not a week or two or a masterclass, this is a whole year. And basically what you get is you get a full course on how to animate an acting shot by illumination animator Nicholas Jolie, as well as some body mechanics stuff, and then access to an animation directory where you can basically find anything you need. If you want to find appealing hand poses, if you want to learn how to animate the chest offset, anything at all, we've created a directory and you can just look for the thing you need and then get the course on it. And if there's something that you need, like let's say you want to IKFK switching, let's say it's not there, you just request it and we'll build it for you. So it's really cool. So it gives you the resources to help you grow by giving you what you need when you need it, as well as a full course on how to create an acting shot by Nicholas. Now on top of that, you actually get the year-long membership to get weekly reviews, weekly master studies, and weekly Q&As. So the master studies, basically we just analyze incredible work and what makes it incredible and how we can put it in our work, and that will bring a huge improvement in your own work just by studying the greats and seeing what they're doing and how you can do it too. It really makes you improve fast. And then we have the Q&A where you can ask our mentors questions about anything, like what's it like working in the industry, how do I get my first job, what should I expect as pay, anything, any question that you have, this is your opportunity to ask and get the answers that you need. So that's once a week, so every week you get access to this. And then the last thing is reviews. So these reviews, they are designed for everyone to learn from. So for example, for an hour on Fridays, we'll get together and we'll select a bunch of shots that you submit to review, and we will review it together, and you can learn from everybody's mistakes and things that, just the common things that we do in reviews, everyone benefits from 100%. So that's the idea of these. If you want dedicated reviews on your own personal shot that's guaranteed every single week, then we suggest you do a mentorship with us, because then you're going to select your mentor, you're going to be one-on-one and you get the direct feedback. This is a group learning activity. So while your shot will get reviewed, it's not guaranteed every week that yours will be selected for review in that session. But you have 52 weeks to get your shots reviewed, so I'm sure you'll come in multiple times. So we just need to make that clear that that Friday session is not a weekly review for an individual, it's a group session. So that's important. So if you want to join, it's cheaper than our mentorships, which is really cool. So the link is below, and I will mention that you actually get this included in our mentorships. So when you do a mentorship with us, this is a part of it now. So you can either do this because it's a bit cheaper, or you can just pay a little bit extra, get the mentorship, get all the reviews, get your feature quality shot lit and rendered, all that stuff that we offer here, as well as this. And that's what we're offering. So losing my breath. So that is that. It's the first time we've we've mentioned it. Like I said, we're going to launch it officially next week, but we're giving you early access because you watched this whole course to the last second, so you deserve it.
I'm looking for inspiration for this movie I'm writing.
You're a screenwriter?
Well, screenwriter / bartender / a month away from living in my car.